Hello, I am Julia King Boone, the Growing Intuitive, and I have a series of videos for you, starting with this one right here, where I'm going to introduce you to astrological tools that help you understand yourself, your natal chart, more authentically, in a more geeky way. And there are ways to make it easier for you, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or professional. There are tools to use to help you with your astrological education journey. And I'm here to introduce you to the first one today, which is all about lunar and solar eclipses. We are currently in eclipse season right now in 2024. We just had a lunar eclipse in Pisces, and we are about to have in just a couple of days a solar eclipse in Libra. We're right in the middle right now. And I'm going to show you a tool that's going to help you understand the impact of these eclipses on your personal life through your natal chart. Let's get into it. Now, we've got, honey, Astro-Seek.com. Astro-Seek.com has your back when it comes to amazing advanced astro tools to help you make your astrological study, your analysis, your learning even more easy. Okay. Now there's so much on this website. It's really dense. And if you don't know what you're looking for, it's actually kind of hard to find it. So I want to show you exactly how to find the impacts of an eclipse on your natal chart. So go to astroseek.com, get yourself an account. It's free. Register. I'm registered as myself, so I'm going to use myself as a little bit of a guinea pig here. Go to free horoscopes, the top left menu. It'll drop down and you go to Transit Chart Calculator. Now, at the top, you'll see there are a ton of options for the optional transit calculators, different types of calculators. Okay. And the one you want to go to is Transit Eclipses in the Natal Chart. All right, so you click that. Now we're in Eclipses in the Natal Chart. So when you come to this page, scroll down. If you have an account, your birth data will auto-populate. If you're new to the site, you can come as a guest. You don't have to register, but you do have to manually add all of your birth data in, like on your own. So you do that, scroll down, and then you pick what year. We're thinking we're doing 5-year increments. If you can see here, there's going to be a 5-year calendar. You want to pick the year that you want to start that at. So you want to see 5 years in a chunk of where these eclipses are falling in your natal chart, right? So if we want to talk about the transition from the cycle of Aries Libra, where the North Node is currently in Aries and the South Node is in Libra, and the eclipses that have happened in Aries and Libra, we would start probably 2023. I'm going to start at 2023 and go from there. And then you'll be able to see in that chart where the Pisces lunar eclipse fell in your chart that we just had, as well as the Libra solar eclipse that's coming up on October 2nd. You'll be able to see where that's falling in your chart as well. So you put your current city in there. I'm in the great city of Chicago, Illinois. So of course I have that. And then you can say any aspect to your natal planets. You can do conjunctions if you want to be like really specific about like, I only want to know when eclipses were conjunct my Pluto or conjunct my sun. That's fine. I like any aspect because it's going to be really educational for, supportive, or especially I think squares with eclipses and oppositions are incredibly important and seem to be very potent. So not just conjunctions. So I'm going to go with any aspect less than 5 degrees. We're going with a close conjunction here, or a close orb. The orb means the degree on either side of the point that you're talking about. So you want to know if there are aspects within 5 degrees of the eclipse point, right? At certain angles. And so I personally like to use whole sign for eclipses. In general, I like to use whole sign because I am studying Hellenistic astrology. And though I'm able and happy to use Placidus, which is incredibly popular, or Campanus, which is a little less popular but also helpful, etc., I use whole sign. Let's keep it simple. Keeping it simple. Each sign has its own house this way, okay? And it really talks to the area of your life that's going to be impacted by these eclipses. Because eclipses don't just impact the planets. Like, let's say the eclipse is conjunct your sun. It doesn't just impact your identity. It also impacts the house that your sun is in and the area of life that is signified by the house. So let's do that. We're doing whole sign, 5-year calendar, and I'm just going to do modern planets because I feel like it, because I really like to know, if something is like impacting my Uranus. Okay. So when you've figured that out, you've put in your start year because you want to see like what has happened or what is going to happen in the next 5 years from 2023 anyway. We're going to calculate the chart. Let's do it. You get your birth data up top. Here's the glory. Here is the, thankfully, graphical representation for you visual learners. This is really helpful. The numbers you see in these orbs or these, there's the solar eclipses in black, like as if the sun is being shaded, and there's lunar eclipses that are kind of peachy pink, okay? And the numbers at the top are the order in which those eclipses happened, all right? So that's not the date or anything. It's not like this happened in July 2024. This is the 7th eclipse in the cycle of the 5 years that you're reviewing, okay? And then it shows the year in which that happened. So right away, from 2023 to 2028, we can see that we are having eclipse cycles through Libra and Aries, and then we're going into Virgo and Pisces, and then we'll go into Leo and Aquarius, and then we'll go Cancer to Capricorn, okay? And because eclipses are associated with the lunar nodes, the north and south node of the moon, we have a node here. You can see it's like this type of glyph. For instance, on my chart, my north node is on top of exactly conjunct my ascendant. So but little thing there, it's going to be in wherever it is in your chart. It looks like, kind of like the Leo symbol, except different, sort of like a 50s bob. Okay. So that's the north node. The south node looks like an upside down 50s bob. An upside down cup, whatever, an upside down fancy U. It's a little bit of this, you know what I mean? It's a little, okay. Wow. Have I had caffeine? Yeah. So you want to look for the nodes, and that is in your natal chart. That's where your nodes are. In the transit chart, which we don't actually see here, the nodes travel backwards through the zodiac. So usually, the zodiac goes Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo. That's the order of the zodiac. But with the nodes, they actually go backwards. So you are going Aries and then Pisces and then Aquarius, okay? So currently the north node is in Aries, but it's really close to being done. It's at 6 degrees Aries right now. And I know this because it's on top of my Mars. It's on top of my Mars. And what the nodes mean in astrology, let's say simply, is that the north node is where your soul, if you believe in souls, you can use that vocabulary, where you are headed in this life. The reason and the purpose that you are here in this life, what you're learning about, what you came here to experience, what you came here to grow into, that's the north node. The south node is what you are growing out of. It's basically how you were when you were a kid. It's perhaps how you were in a past life, things you've mastered already in a past life. And with eclipses, eclipses happen when new moons or full moons occur within, I believe it's a 15-degree orb. Let me check on this real quick. Okay, look, I had to go check. A lunar eclipse can occur only when the full moon is near either lunar node within 11 degrees 38 minutes ecliptic longitude, while a solar eclipse can only occur when the new moon is near either lunar node within 17 degrees and 25 minutes. Interesting. Now, this is Wikipedia, so, take that with a grain of salt, but I figure this has been edited. Anyway, back to it. Since the current north node is at 6 degrees Aries, and the Pisces full moon happened at 25 degrees and some change, which we'll look at in a second. Pisces. So it was a wide solar eclipse, right? I mean, lunar eclipse, but it was still an eclipse because it happened between that orb, right? So even though it was a Pisces lunar eclipse, the node is still in Aries right now, just in case that gets confusing for anyone, okay? And you can see that line here. 2024, we have a red line where that eclipse occurred. Okay, so this is just the graphic. This is the beginner part of this. This just shows you that over these amount of years, these houses in your chart are going to be lit up by these eclipses. Okay, scroll down, gets even better. You can even change the year from within this page, so you don't have to even research things. Okay, so here are the dates. Lunar eclipse, solar eclipse in the natal house. So it shows you what house it happened in and what aspects it made to your natal planets. Then you get to see a transit chart of the moment of the eclipse. I'll show you an example. Now you can see the new moon of the Aries new moon in 2000 and what we're looking at 23 on April 19th, 2023 at 29 degrees of Aries. Woo, right there, right at the end of Aries, okay? And then you can see all the other planets in the sky. You can see your natal chart in the middle, okay? You also see on the side, you get to see where everything happened, all right? So your birth chart versus the transit planets, all right? And then there's more details down below, but don't worry about that, all right? I just want to show you that you can see the transit chart for the moment of the eclipse to get a feeling of all the energies at play. But if we stick with this chart, look at what was happening for me. April 19th, 2023. Whew, we had a lot going on. I had a lot of aspects, okay? So if you only select conjunctions in the menu before, in the page before, you'll only see if the eclipse conjuncted something. So if this is too much information for you, don't worry, boo-boo. You can just select conjunctions in the menu before, the page before. So what we're going to look at is what's coming up right now. We just had, okay, so here we go. You can see the signs that these eclipses happen through. In 2023, we had the first Aries eclipse, because that was at the very end of Aries. Remember, the lunar nodes move backwards, so the beginning of the eclipse cycle is going to be the higher degrees of that sign, most likely. And that was in my 10th house. Scrolling down, we finished out the cycle before, which was Taurus Scorpio. So we had, the final Scorpio eclipse. Then we had the Libra eclipse as, the nodes were moving into Aries and Libra, the last Taurus eclipse. Okay, moving right along. So the lunar nodes are moving into, next year, they are moving into Pisces and Virgo. But we had our first Pisces eclipse just a week and a half ago. however many days that is. We had our first lunar eclipse just a week and a half ago because of what I said earlier. The node is at the end or the beginning of Aries. It's about to move into Pisces, but that orb is wide enough that it includes some of Pisces when there's a full moon or a new moon, right? So September 17th, this is the exact time it happened. We have the degree that it happened at. It was at Pisces, 25 degrees, 47 minutes. It was in my 9th house. It squared my Neptune. And what you see here is the orb but of that angle, right? So in the screen before, it said within a 5-degree orb. And what that means, it's within 5 degrees of these aspects, which are just angles of relationship between the planetary bodies. But here's the fun, juicy part that I feel like really helps with the visualization of all of this data. Go to the impact chart. Boom! Look at that. Good visual, hey? So you can see your own natal chart laid out just as it is. We have the Pisces eclipse at 25 degrees, the date and time, as well as the actual lines of impact, right? So if you're not used to these glyphs, that's a whole other video. We have semisextile, sextile, square, trine, inconjunct, opposition. All helpfully color-coded. And what these show is the orb, right? We're talking about the breadth of that aspect. So it's, this line shows you that anything between those degrees that's like colored in, that was aspected by the eclipse. So that's why the sextile of my Lilith, right? The semi-sextile of my Mercury, sextile of my Chiron, square of my North Node, and my South Node, and my Neptune, right? And then we had inconjunct my Pluto. Meh. This is really helpful, again, for visual learners, right? People who are learning the aspects, people who are learning about eclipses, people who are learning about orb, about the idea of like what would be impacted by that degree at 25 degrees, 47 minutes. Okay. So this is an incredibly helpful way for you to look at your own chart and dive deeper into what impacts and like how are these eclipses actually working with your chart. You can listen to YouTube or Spotify podcasts or whatever, talk about eclipses all day long. But if you can't see it, if you can't visualize it, if you don't understand the placements in your chart and you're like, well, I don't know what house Pisces falls in my chart. This is going to tell you, honey. This is going to tell you. This is going to literally show you. Here's the 9th house of my Pisces 9th house, right? So it's a really good thing, I think, for like beginner to intermediate, even, professional astrologers to use this tool so that you can see how a series of eclipses are really impacting your life. And then there's a whole other video topic at hand about what each house means. So let me know if you want to go into that. And if you have any questions about this, if you're just unsure about like, well, I don't know what this means, like, let me know in the comments, like, how does this affect you? Is this going to help you? Is this a helpful tool? I find it really helpful because we can take a look at how impactful these eclipses are more than just even conjunctions. We can look at other angles too. Maybe these eclipses are kicking up some serious dust in certain houses of your chart. And you might need extra support from whatever support systems you have. I give intuitive astrology readings if you want to get in touch with me to talk about what areas of life might be impacted by an eclipse. We can look into that. But let's look ahead to October 2nd, right? October 2nd, 2024. At 1:46 p.m. Central Time, we have a Libra eclipse at 10 degrees. All right, so I hope this helps you. I hope this helps give you a tool for your toolbox, right? That helps you understand. That helps you understand yourself a little bit more, helps you see even visually what areas of your life have been impacted by these eclipses over the years. And let me tell you a really fun thing to do. Like, you put this calendar back, let's go all the way back to 2003, see what happens. Oh, it's very similar. Very similar. Like, and so you can see in like significant portions of your life, which these years were incredibly significant to me. So you can see like what areas of life might have been impacted and look at those aspects. Woo, it was active, right? Yeah. And these eclipses are adding this cosmic reset energy, this kick in the pants energy. The idea that like drastic things might happen to kick you back into your life path, to move you more into your purpose, to align you closer with your purpose and your true self, right? Your higher self basically is saying, we got to move you. Things got to shift. You've got to shed some things. You've got to like adapt and move towards different things. And this like cosmic energy of adjustment is coming through with eclipses. So take a look back in time and see what's happened for you, and see what houses and what areas of life were really being lit up. Yeah, incredible. So really awesome. I love this visual representation, and it really helps for reflecting on those important life-changing experiences. Anything from a trauma to a joy and a victory. Anything significant that might fall within these areas of life. So yeah, I hope this is helpful for you. If you have questions about this tool, I can do my best to answer, but I say go play with it. Go play with it. Do some time traveling. Check out where you've been, and then maybe you can even guess where you're going, right? So if we start the 2024 eclipses this year, they are happening, right, in Aries, and then it started in Pisces. And so look ahead for where Pisces and Virgo land in your chart, because the nodes are moving. The north node's moving into Pisces, and the south node's moving into Virgo. So we are going to be having eclipses in Pisces and Virgo through 2026, as you can see. Through 2026. And then in 2027, we will have our last Virgo eclipse here, while we're also having North Node or eclipses in Aquarius, because we're going to be moving into Aquarius and Leo after that. Remember, things move backwards with the nodes. So look ahead. And what house is that in? Are there planets in those houses? You might be extra affected by these eclipses if there are planets in those houses. Do you have heavy Pisces placements? My sun is there. Check this out. That 2025, let's see which one that is. That's number 7. September 7th, 2025 will be conjunct my sun, 0-degree orb, 50 minutes. There's something about my identity, who I am, that's going to be wildly shifting in 2025. You get ready. Y'all get ready. I'm coming. Woo! Yes. So where is this for you? What's in your chart? Check it out. All right. You take care, folks. I'm so glad to be able to share this with you. I hope that these tools help. I will be coming back with another video of another helpful astrology tool and give you a little bit of a tutorial of how to use it. All right. All the best. I love you. I am you. Be well. Be safe out there. Bye.